Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this Monday morning with Business Coach Malloy from this beautiful city of Kolkata. Uh, Hot and sultry, though summer at its peak, and here I am in Kolkata, coming out with my uh, series on entrepreneurial essentials, marketing. We have been on the series of marketing for the past 7 weeks. We are on episode 8. And today we are going to talk about something that is paramount to the business, and that is trust. Trust with your customers. Because a lot of businesses lose customers in the first conversation itself. So let's start with something absolutely new and real. You have worked on your positioning, you have become clearer, you have worked on your visibility, you have started building trust. And then an inquiry comes in, a call, a message, a referral, or an introduction. And in that moment, when you get that call, when you get that message, or get a referral, or get an introduction, something very, very important happens, not externally, but internally. You and your team have now moved on to the sales mode. And even before realizing it, your tone changes. Let's pause right here, gentlemen, because this is where businesses lose the advantage they have built. Before the inquiry came in, the customer saw you as clear, structured, thoughtful, trustworthy. That's what your marketing was doing. But the moment the conversation starts, they start experiencing urgency, information overload, premature pitching, and sometimes even the pressure to close. And that creates the gap between expectation and experience. And that call actually weakens the entire trust that you had built through your fantastic thought through marketing campaigns. For a moment, step into the customer's mind once again. And we are all customers in some business or the other. So let's step into that mind. The customer has not come to you fully decided. They're exploring, they're trying to understand, they're trying to feel comfortable. And most importantly, they're observing you. This is something that I was told a few days back, that a client did not purchase from a business coach, not because of the lack of knowledge, not because of the lack of credibility, but because of the lack of energy, the lack of positivity, that I am the person who can help you overcome your challenges. They're observing you, not just what you say, but how you behave. And this is something that I want to say very clearly today. Your first conversation is not about selling. The first conversation is not about closing. It is about confirming trust. Look at all those situations around you where, whether it's with a customer, whether it's with your colleague, whether it's with your peers, whether it's with your bosses, with anybody, that you have taken action that breaks the trust. And then this person, could be the customer, could be your boss, could be a banker, could be anybody, is asking silently, are these people as good as they seem? Because their behavior does not align to the expectations. If your behavior aligns to the expectation, trust strengthens. If it doesn't, hesitation begins. And when hesitation begins, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, with this experience of 33 years in industry and 10 years in business coaching, trust is extremely difficult to rebuild. And here's where most businesses go wrong. What happens in most organizations when an inquiry comes in, they focus immediately shifts to explaining the product, sharing details, sending proposals, discussing pricing. Everything moves very fast. Because you have seen the probability of income generation, of revenue generation. But this is not the customer speed. The customer is still slow, and that mismatch creates friction. The most important understanding that I have got through this journey of 33 years, you cannot speed up the customer. You cannot accelerate a customer's decision by pushing information. You can only support that decision by improving clarity. And that clarity comes from understanding, not explaining. When your customer reaches out first, the instinct is to respond. But the real need, which we all miss out, the real need is to understand not just the requirement, but the situation behind the requirement. Why now? Why is this driving? What has worked before? What has not worked before? What are they concerned about? These questions are not interrogation, they are for insight. And let me put this to you very, very simply and straightforward, straight on the face. If you speak more than the customer in your first conversation, you are probably moving too fast. Your second skill should be the most important one, slowing down the conversation. This may sound counterintuitive, but mature businesses don't rush. They guide, they create space for clarity. They don't try to impress, they try to understand, and that changes the tone completely. The third skill, not over solving too early. Another common mistake, the moment the customer shares a problem, we jump to solutions. We explain everything we do. We try to demonstrate capability, but the customer has not fully expressed the problem. So your solution seems premature and sometimes overwhelming. Yesterday, I signed off a client with me who has been with me for the past 4 years. We have nurtured that person. We have reached out to that person. We have tried to help solve his immediate problems. Then, through just advisory, yesterday he signed up with us, and that is patience. That is help. That is empathy. And as a service provider, as a product seller, you could be doing anything. Your job, my job, is to take that customer through the decision journey. You need to allow that problem to fully surface. The deeper the understanding, the simpler the solution appears, and simplicity builds confidence. The fourth skill, managing expectations early. Many businesses avoid this, say they yes too quickly, they overcommit, they try to please, but mature businesses do something different. They set expectations early. What is possible, what is not, what will take time, what requires involvement, and this honesty builds trust. Customers don't trust businesses that say yes to everything. They trust businesses that says yes with clarity and no with confidence. The fifth skill, creating that next clear steps. One of the biggest leaks in inquiry handling is this. The conversation ends, but nothing is defined. No next step, no timeline, no clarity. The customer drifts, interest fades, the salesperson, the BD, the entrepreneur chases, the opportunity weakens. A good conversation should always have a next step. Not forcefully, but clearly. What happens next? When do we reconnect? Who needs to do what? What needs to be shared? Clarity creates that momentum. Now let's talk about the response time. The speed matters, but tone matters more. A fast but shallow response weakens perception. A thoughtful and structured response strengthens it. So just don't focus on responding quickly. Focus on responding meaningfully. And here's where many businesses break this trust right at the start. By talking too much, listening too little, running too fast, and promising too easily. Because once this trust weakens early, it is extremely difficult to rebuild. Let me ask you something today. If you were my customer, would you feel more comfortable after your first interaction with your business, or would you feel slightly unsure? And the answer that you give me is very, very important. Because if at the end of the first interaction, you leave that meeting with disconnect, uncomfortable, not happy with the conversation, then probably I am doing something wrong. So here's where the role of the team comes in, because you are not the person who's going to talk to all the customers all the time. So this is just not about the founder. Your team needs to understand this, because most first interactions don't happen with you. They happen with your people, and their behavior decides the brand. And this requires training and alignment, not scripts, but understanding. Your team must know we are not here to push, we are here to guide. So instead of thinking, how do we convert this inquiry, think about how do we strengthen trust in the first interactions. Conversions will follow. And that is the key to making that conversation meaningful. Don't allow don't allow that trust to be broken in the first meeting, because you've spent a hell of a lot of effort and money and time through your marketing to build that trust. Your first call should solidify that everything that you have done in marketing. So where do we go next? And that's the most important question. Once the conversations start happening, how do you move forward without sounding too pushy? How do you close without pressure? And that is what we will explore in the next session. Final thoughts for today. You don't win businesses because you responded first. You win businesses because they felt right. And that feeling must be created in that first conversation. My name is Malay Chakravarti. I and my team of business coaches are there to help you achieve your vision for 26-27 and far beyond. You know where to reach me. We are just a call, WhatsApp, email away. Till next Monday, same place, same time. Have a fantastic week. Have a fantastic closure to month one. Next Monday, we will catch up again and talk about the next steps of marketing. Till then, God bless, take care, and have a fantastic week.